That's right. It is time for another episode of Shay Risque. My name is Master Mark. It is 1 in the morning, and I could not sleep, so I decided to just stay up and have about 4 or 5 beers and come down here to the den and smoke a cigarette and record a new episode. Tonight we are going to cover one of the articles that I wrote on my blog back in October of 2013. But before I get into that, I want to talk about my slave for a few moments. I want to say that Carissa is one hell of a woman. Tonight she made breakfast for a dinner, and she made these cheesy grits, or what she calls cheesy grits, which is nothing but grits that have cheese, that have um, cream cheese, and has half and half. And I'm gonna tell you something. That is the most amazing thing I have ever had in my entire life. What I will do later on is that I will have her type up the recipe, and I will post that to my blog because everybody needs to try it. It will blow your mind away. But enough about that. Right now, I want to talk about an article that I wrote on my blog back on Tuesday, October 15th, 2013. And what you can do is that you can go ahead and go to my blog, shayrisque.com. Look for it. The title is "The Problem with Stereotypes." And what got me thinking about stereotypes at that time, and what drove me to write this piece, was how limiting certain labels in the BDSM lifestyle is. What labels do is that they just confine you to a certain role. And this role may be for you, or it may not be for you. The problem with confining yourself to a label or to a role is that you are no longer allowing yourself to grow as a person. And what happens is when two people come together, they come from two separate walks of life. They are two different people. And when they join as a couple, they begin to change because they are developing new experiences with the other person. They are beginning to see things from a different point of view. They are beginning to interact on a very intimate level. And that will cause a person to change and cause them to grow. And when that happens in the BDSM master slave lifestyle, we are so set on our labels of master or slave or slut or dom or sub or pet that we lock ourselves into that master role. We lock ourselves into that slave role, and we do not allow ourselves to uh, to grow. We we treat the other person as their role. If you are a slave, you will treat your master as a, as a master, and in doing so, you will cause that person to just stay stagnant in his or her life. They will not grow. Your interaction will stay the same. And when that happens, things get very boring, they get very tiresome, and eventually the relationship will end. It will it will either end good or bad. Either way, it is gone. Now, there are some people that enjoy acting within a fixed role. Some people prefer to behave in a way that comes naturally to them. And what I mean by these two things, if you are acting within a fixed role, basically all that you are doing is role playing. You are not being true to who you are. If you have a master or a man, let's just go with man. If you have a man who is a very dominant person, now when he is with his woman or his wife or girlfriend, he may be very tender, very loving, but when the bedroom door closes, he is master, and he is sadistic. He will punish, he will train, but that is only role play, because you cannot be sadistic 24/7. You cannot be domineering 24/7, because you have a job, you have kids, you have a life. So you are just acting within a fixed role. Now, if you are behaving in a way that comes naturally to you, let's say that you have a man who has a wife. Now, this man is behaving in a very natural way. He is a leader. Instead of being a domineering, controlling, sadistic master, he is a man who leads his woman through life. All that he does is just lead, and she will follow. He does not have to be an asshole. All that he has to do is just set the rules, and all that she has to do is just obey. And in doing so, they are able to grow. They are able to interact in a much more intimate and loving way. And when you behave in this manner, you will grow together. You will grow appreciation, respect. You will grow in admiration. And the relationship, instead of being boxed in where you have your in the bedroom life and out of the bedroom life, you have this dance where one person leads and the other person follows, where you are moving around the dance floor called life. And it's a very elegant, it is a very beautiful dance. This person who is leading in this dance is a take charge kind of a person. He is someone who will cherish, protect, who will appreciate, respect, love, who will do everything that is humanly possible to take care of. And the same is on the flip side for the person that is following in the dance. Um, Master slave may not be everybody's cup of tea. And you just may want a very simplified male-led relationship. Or if you are a feminist type of, a person, you may want a female-led relationship. But it does not have to be cold. It does not have to be strict and structured and just absence of all emotion. Because that is what I'm seeing in the BDSM lifestyle right now, is that these relationships, albeit they are temporary, they are very cold. They are very structured. They're very strict, and they're based around sex. Sex is wonderful, but you can't have sex 24 hours a day. You have to have those intimate conversations. You have to be able to be in the same room with with each other and not have it feel so awkward because you're just not sure what you are supposed to do. Um, Now, one of the things that we do to make things more strict and structured is that we apply labels like master. You know, I do not call myself a master. Carissa does. Because that is just one thing that we keep to make things more sexy. Okay? Um, a couple should always be attracted to each other. You know, a a a relationship is not boring. It should be erotic. It should be stimulating. You should desire that person emotionally, mentally, and physically. And we do our role play from time to time. But she always addresses me as master. Now, when we are not role playing, I am still the man of the house. She still follows my lead. But in but in but in doing so, we are able to have a house that is free of conflict, that is loving, that is open, that is fun. Um, Now, some people may enjoy labels as a part of their life, where they want to be called slut, or they want to be called whore, or they want to be called sir. Um, but in my house, that is not necessary. It's just a way for us to just, just be sexy. Whenever she looks at me and goes, "Master, do you want a beer?" and I go, "Oh hell yeah!" And then she turns around and she has that nice ass, and I smack her on the ass, and we just have a good time. Um, but instead of us falling into these defined roles where it is strict over the years, um, we we have developed this dance where we no longer have to second guess or wonder what the other person is. When we first came together, she was completely naive of the BDSM lifestyle. She knew that there were spankings and whips and all and chains, but she had never experienced it firsthand. But she was a natural follower. She was someone who just craved to please. So within the first 8 9 months of us being together, I popped in a movie which many of you have probably already seen called The Secretary. And she sat there and she watched this movie, and she was just in awe of what she was seeing. Um, Take out the fact that they made the dominant and the submissive person in the movie to be very damaged emotionally. She pretty much saw herself in the secretary role, where she was someone that just wanted to please. And when the movie was over, she had this thirst, this knowledge to know more. And so we talked and talked and talked, and I told her everything that I had learned in my, at the time it was about, I don't know how long I had been in at that time, but it was a very long time. And she just absorbed it. It repulsed her, but at the same time she was drawn to it. And she wanted to live it. She needed to live it. It was very manic for her. And we fell into that trap where we defined ourselves by these labels. And we struggled. And we almost lost who we were to each other. Um, and it was not until we finally decided to take a step back, and I said, listen, let's just live. Let's just let things develop naturally. Just let me lead. And ever since then, we have been on fire, where our love for each other actually deepened to a level that I didn't think was actually possible. Um, and she fell right into place where her confidence was back up. She was beginning to move and walk more sexy and more. Her shoulders were up and back, and she just she just became amazing. And it was not because of she is slave and I am a master. It was because I am a man and she is a woman, and we are just doing what comes naturally to us. She is naturally a very submissive person. So submissive that you can actually label her as slave. But she is just a submissive woman. I am naturally a very dominant man. And so we just live our lives as a submissive woman and a dominant man who love each other. And because of this, we have been able to grow to anticipate each other. We are able to just sit in the bed and have the most wonderful conversations, or we are able to sit on the couch and just be completely goofy, but still maintain that Mark is a man of the house. Mark is still master. Unfortunately, I don't see that very, very often in the lifestyle right now. What I see are, I am master and you are slave and you will obey. And you will do nothing but obey. And I will do nothing but command you. Well, I hate to tell you the bad news, but that's not how life works. There are other things besides master slave. There are other things besides command and obey. Life is going to move on around you, and you have to adapt to that. You do not want to be in the same place 25 years from now and you're bored out of your fucking mind because all that you have is I am master and you are slave. Well, where is the romance? Where is the intimacy? It's just not there. So we need to stop worrying about all these stereotypical labels. We need to stop worrying about trying to live a stereotypical life of master slave, dom sub. It's just not feasible. Instead, just behave naturally. Now, unfortunately, most people just don't know who they are. They have never taken the time to actually discover who they are. So they just wander and they experiment and they play. Um, so what I say is that before you actually get involved with someone, if you are in the BDSM lifestyle, take time to fucking know yourself. Um, that way you are not going to hurt yourself and you are not going to hurt the other person. But once you discover who you are, just be that person. It's okay to call yourself master, but do not fall into that stereotypical role. Fall into who you are naturally and just lead your woman. That's all. Leader, lover, cherisher, protector, romancer. Just be yourself. Well, that is all for tonight. I am going to get off here and I'm going to drag my tired ass to a bed. I will talk to everybody next week. Everybody be safe and be in love.